War films. They capture courage, sacrifice, and the brutal cost of conflict. They bring history to life, show us heroism, and remind us of humanity's darkest hours. But some of the greatest war films ever made were completely snubbed by the Oscars. Masterpieces that deserve gold but went home empty-handed. Today, we're looking at 10 great war films that were snubbed for Oscars. Let's find out which ones and why. Ever wondered why some of the most brutally realistic war films get ignored by the Oscars? Black Hawk Down is the perfect example. Ridley Scott didn't just direct a movie. He put audiences right in the middle of the chaos. It's a relentless, gut-wrenching portrayal of modern warfare, based on the true story of the Battle of Mogadishu. The sounds of bullets whizzing by, the desperation in the soldiers' eyes, it was all too real. Nominated for Best Director and winning for Sound and Editing, but no nod for Best Picture. Why? Maybe because it didn't romanticize war. There are no heroes here, just survival. The helicopter crash that spirals into chaos, the street battles that feel claustrophobic and hopeless. Every scene pulls you deeper into the nightmare. It showed the brutal reality of war, and maybe that was too much for the Academy. It's not just a film, it's an experience. But the Oscars? They weren't ready for its honesty. Steven Spielberg knows how to tell a story, but Empire of the Sun wasn't just a story. It was a journey through fear, hope, and survival. It follows a young boy, played by young Christian Bale, trapped in a Japanese internment camp during World War II. The boy's innocence is shattered, his childhood stolen by war. And through his eyes, we see the cost of conflict. Nominated for 6 Oscars, but didn't win any. How? Spielberg crafted one of the most emotional, visually stunning war films of all time, and the Academy turned away. The haunting scenes in the internment camp, the heartbreaking farewell that leaves a lump in your throat. Bale's performance was beyond his years, a debut that was nothing short of extraordinary. It's a story of hope against all odds, a survival tale that grips you till the end. But maybe it was too raw, too real for the Oscars to recognize. Some movies entertain, others haunt you. Come and See is the latter. This isn't just a film, it's a nightmare brought to life. It follows a young boy in Nazi-occupied Belarus, witnessing the horrors of war through innocent eyes. But this isn't about bravery or heroism, it's about survival. The kind of survival that leaves scars you can't see. Not even submitted for Best Foreign Language Film, a shocking oversight. It's as if the world turned a blind eye to its power. Maybe because it's not just a movie, it's a confrontation. It forces you to see war's true face, one you'll never forget. The village massacre, the haunting, broken stare of the boy who's seen too much. Every frame burns into your memory. Every sound echoes long after the credits roll. It didn't just show war, it made you feel it. And maybe that was too uncomfortable, even for the Oscars. War isn't just about guns and battles. Sometimes, it's about friendship and the pain of losing it. Galipoli is a heartbreaking tribute to innocence lost on the battlefield. Set during the ill-fated Gallipoli campaign of World War I, it follows 2 young men who go off to fight, with dreams of glory and heroism. But what they find is tragedy, completely ignored by the Academy. Despite critical acclaim. How could they overlook this emotional masterpiece? It wasn't just a war film, it was a eulogy for a generation. The emotional final charge, the devastating aftermath, a silence that says more than words ever could. It doesn't glorify war, it mourns it. It was a tribute to fallen heroes, a reminder of the cost of conflict. But the Oscars? They gave it no honor. Not all war movies are about action. Some are about the silence in between. The Thin Red Line is poetry in chaos. Terrence Malick's haunting meditation on World War II isn't just about soldiers, it's about their souls. Their fears, their regrets, their humanity. Nominated for 7 Oscars, but walked away empty-handed. Best Picture, Best Director, all ignored. Why? Maybe because it asked questions instead of giving answers. It showed war as beautiful and terrifying. It made you think, and maybe that was too much for the Academy. Claustrophobic, nerve-wracking, Unforgettable. Das Boot traps you inside a German U-boat during World War II and doesn't let go. This isn't about glory or victory, it's about survival. The fear, the tension, the relentless depth charges that shake the screen. Nominated for 6 Oscars, but no Best Picture. It's one of the greatest submarine movies ever made. But the Academy left it in the depths. It captured the human side of enemy soldiers, men fighting for life, not ideology. Maybe that was too complex for the Oscars to handle. It felt so real. Governments thought it was a documentary. The Battle of Algiers shows urban warfare like never before. Shot on the streets with non-actors, it's raw, intense, and brutally honest. It's not about heroes or villains. It's about revolution. Nominated for 3 Oscars, but not Best Picture. It was too political, too controversial, too ahead of its time. It challenged the narrative, showed the cost of occupation, and maybe that was too bold for the Academy. War doesn't end on the battlefield. Born on the 4th of July shows what happens when soldiers come home, broken. Tom Cruise gave the performance of his career as Ron Kovic, a paralyzed Vietnam vet who goes from patriot to protester. Won Best Director, but lost Best Picture to Driving Miss Daisy. A safe, feel-good choice over a gut-wrenching, divisive masterpiece. It showed the cost of war, not just in blood, but in spirit. But the Oscars chose comfort over confrontation. War isn't just fought with bullets, sometimes it's fought with power and politics. Paths of Glory exposed the corruption behind the front lines. Stanley Kubrick didn't just make a war film, he made a statement about injustice, cowardice, and the price of blind obedience. Banned in France for decades, and completely ignored by the Oscars. Not a single nomination. Maybe because it hit too close to home. It questioned authority, exposed hypocrisy, and showed that sometimes the enemy is wearing your own uniform. Too bold, too honest, too powerful. Adventure, humor, and heroism in the face of impossible odds. The Great Escape is the ultimate story of courage and freedom. It's not just about escaping a POW camp, it's about defiance, hope, and the will to fight, even behind bars. An unforgettable cast. Steve McQueen's iconic motorcycle chase, scenes that defined a genre. But the Academy barely noticed. 1 nomination, 4 film editing. It's one of the most beloved war films of all time, a cultural icon. Yet no Best Picture, no Best Director. Maybe because it made war feel like an adventure, or maybe because it made heroes out of prisoners. Either way, it escaped Oscar glory. There you have it. 10 incredible war films, all snubbed by the Oscars. Movies that dared to show the truth, to confront power, to make us question what we think we know. They challenged conventions, broke boundaries, and told stories that still resonate today. But the Academy looked the other way. Maybe they were too bold, too raw, too real. But that's what makes them unforgettable. So the next time you look at an Oscar winner, remember the ones that never got their due. The ones that changed cinema, without the gold statue to prove it. And to uncover more about the movies,